When was the last time you actually wanted to go out but didn't? You were ready, dressed, keys in hand, and somehow you still didn't go. Not because you were tired, not because you were scared. So what stopped you? Because it wasn't what you think. If that feels familiar, you're not alone. And it's not just shyness, it's not just introversion. It goes deeper than that. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not about who you are, it's about what you've learned to avoid. Who comes to your mind first when someone says they like to stay at home all day? Of course, introverts, because everyone thinks staying home is just something introverts do. But that is not the whole story. Skipping the parties, canceling plans, choosing your couch over going out, we all do that. There are people who can talk easily, do their work well, even socialize when they need to, yet they still prefer to stay home most of the time. It's not that they lack the ability, it's that going out drains them before they even go. You didn't stay home because nothing was happening. You stayed home because too much was already happening inside your head. But why does going out feel so exhausting from the very start? You're dressed, completely ready, keys in your hand, you stand near the door for a second, and then you sit back down. Not because something happened, just because going out suddenly feels heavier than staying. At first, it doesn't even feel like a pattern, it just feels like you. For some people, even normal things, crowds, noise, small talk, feel heavier than they should. Your body reacts before you even decide, and by the time you think about going out, you're already tired. That's when you start telling yourself, I just don't like people. But it's not really about dislike. It's about how much those situations demand from your system, and you call that normal. And all of this slowly turns into a habit. Staying home starts to feel comfortable in a simple way. Home is the place where no one watches you or makes comments. You don't need to explain yourself. Your own space lets you just be without pressure. So the mind returns to what feels easy over and over. And maybe you've already lived this exact moment. Your friend group chat lights up. Everyone's excited, sharing ideas, planning a night out. Then there you are. You read the messages. For a moment, you feel like joining, but you don't reply right away. You leave it on scene. And when you do respond, not today, maybe next time, or possibly even worse. My mother said no. I used that one too. So the moment you say no, relief. It's quiet again. No expectation, no pressure to show up as someone, just you and your space. And for a moment, it feels right. And that right there is the shift. You don't think much of it at the time. Your brain locks into that relief, and next time, it chooses it again. You type a reply, yeah, I'll come. You read it once, delete it, send, not today. The moment you hit send, something inside you calms down. That's when it changes. And in some cases, this doesn't stay small. In Japan, there's even a term for people who completely withdraw and stay inside for months, even years. Not everyone reaches that point, but it shows how something that starts small can slowly grow if it keeps repeating. But there's more to it, something more personal, because comfort isn't the whole story. For many, it goes beyond comfort. It connects to how they see themselves. There's a fear of being judged, a feeling of being noticed, even when no one really is. You hear about a plan, a party, a gathering, something completely normal, and instantly a quiet, immediate no in your chest before you've even thought about it. And here's something most people never say out loud. You rehearse conversations in your head before they even happen. You play out the whole scenario, what you'll say, how they'll react, what could go wrong, and by the time the actual moment comes, you're already exhausted from a version of it that never existed. Think about the last time someone took a photo in a group. That half second before the camera clicks, you already moved to the edge. Not because anyone asked you to, because being in the center of anything feels wrong. Sometimes it's not even about the place, it's about not wanting to be seen. Your mind doesn't react to reality, it reacts to what it remembers. If going out once felt awkward, heavy, uncomfortable, that feeling stays. And next time, your body votes no before your mind even gets a say, and you don't even notice it. And this didn't start recently. COVID didn't create it. It just made it easier to stay this way. When staying home became the norm, a lot of people never really went back. For some, it helped them grow, new habits, new clarity. But for others, it quietly became a pattern they never really broke. But here's what makes it more complicated. Even through all of this, the need for real connection doesn't disappear. It stays strong. These are the same people who expect their soulmate to literally land at their front door one day, without ever having to go out or interact. They know it won't happen, but they still hold on to the joke. You want connection, but the moment it gets real, you pull back. Not because you don't care, because it feels like too much. And sometimes you finally push yourself. You go out, you're there. Everyone's laughing, talking, and somehow you feel completely out of place, like there's glass between you and the room. You're physically present, but you're somewhere else entirely. You go home earlier than planned, and honestly, it's a relief, and no one notices. You're not avoiding people, you're avoiding how you feel around them. And slowly, life starts to feel a little repetitive. You wake up, handle work, eat, rest, repeat. At first, it feels peaceful, safe even, but slowly, everything blends together. Days look the same. Even the things you enjoy stop feeling new. Then you wonder, what did I do to deserve this? Nothing is wrong, but nothing feels new either. By 7 p.m., that version of you who wanted to go out had already made 100 small decisions, and there was nothing left. There's also something happening quietly underneath all of it, and when you ask these people what they did all day, the answer is always the same. Something small, something quiet, something that didn't require explaining themselves to anyone. Even at work, some keep things remote. They function well, just not in full view. They succeed without the spotlight, because the spotlight feels like exposure. You say maybe next time so often that people eventually stop asking, and slowly, you stop being part of things you once belonged to, not because you were pushed out, because you quietly stepped back, one canceled plan at a time. One day, you realize you weren't excluded. You just stopped showing up. But not everyone who stays home feels trapped. There are two very different things happening, and from the outside, they look identical. Some people truly choose it. Their space brings calm. They think clearly, create freely, feel most themselves without constant noise. They don't just survive at home, they thrive. Take Emily Dickinson. She lived mostly at home and wrote nearly 1,800 poems. Same with J.D. Salinger. He stepped away from public life after The Catcher in the Rye to protect something in himself, and he never stopped writing. When staying home is a choice, it brings freedom, focus, strength. When it comes from fear or overload, it builds walls you stop noticing. From the outside, both look the same. Inside, they feel completely different. And here's the part most people never realize. At some point, you stopped saying "not tonight." You started saying, "that's just not me," and that's a very different thing. One is a decision. The other is an identity. And an identity is much harder to change than a habit, especially when you built it one canceled plan at a time. The scary part isn't staying home. It's how easy it becomes, without you ever realizing it. The longer you stay inside, the smaller the outside gets. Not the world, your version of it. Most people who stay home will tell you it's a choice, and maybe it was. At first, the scary part isn't staying home. It's not noticing when you stopped choosing it, and you got used to it. So ask yourself honestly, when's the last time you actually chose to go out instead of just not finding a reason to? If this felt a little too accurate, you already know why.